I do apologize, folks. Not sure what happened there, but I lost internet there for a minute. We are back and strong. Kind of recap what happened so far. We're on lap 11 of 150. Again, I do apologize. Unfortunately, I can't control if the internet stays working or not. All right, so lap 11 of 150. Eddie Morris is still in the lead. Travis Bennett has moved up into second place at this point, with Travis Burton in third place. Brad Young is in fourth. Joe Wright in fifth place. Devin Butchno in sixth. Dave Wright in seventh place. Ethan Horst in eighth place. Dalton Gibson in ninth. Josh Hall up to 10th place. Carlton Charles down to 11th place. Adam St. John 12th. And Charles Balance rounds out your field in 13th place. Let's take a look at our leader here. Out in front of the field by a decent little gap. Looks like he's got about a 1.8 second gap over second place right now. You can see Eddie riding that high line. That's where he's always most comfortable, is up as close to the wall as he can get. Has always raced that way. Let's take a look back here to Brad Young and Joe Wright. Joe Wright trying to put the pressure on to get that pass on Brad Young. You can see the run. Oh, makes contact. Perfect time to come back. Makes contact with Brad Young coming off of turn 4. Everyone keeps it straight. While there was an incident recorded, there was no caution, so we're going to keep on going. Joe Wright looks like he just came into that corner a little too fast and tapped the bumper. Let's head back here to Ethan Horst, Josh Hall, and the number 17 car of Dalton Gibson. Josh Hall making his way through the pack. He said in practice his goal tonight was just to survive. He's not only surviving, but he's moving up in the pack here. Devin Butchno to 5th place. Just past Joe Wright here. Now Devin Butchno looking to come for Brad Young in that 4th place. We've got 24 laps till the completion of this stage. Lots of time left on these tires. You've got to kind of take it easy. They're going to heat up pretty quick. We're at 113 degree track temperature. Pretty warm out there. Devin Butchno able to hold that bottom line where he is also most comfortable. We've talked about Eddie really like being up towards the wall. Devin really likes painting that bottom line. Whether it's yellow, he wants it to be black, or white, he wants it to be black. His tires are always on it, as close as he can get to it, as close as comfortable. Always able to make it work really well. We've got Joe Wright back up to Brad Young's bumper. He's going to take that outside line this time. Brad Young takes the inside line. Looks like Joe's going to get a great run off the corner here, off of turn 4. Avoid each other. Brad Young touches the wall on the outside of 4. Gives Joe the ability to go around Brad Young. Joe Wright up to 5th place. Devin Butchno up to 4th place. That gap between 1st and 2nd now, between Travis Bennett. You got Travis Burton also racing here. Down to a 2.1 second gap. He's got quite the lead here. Eddie definitely wants these guys to continue fighting. The more they fight, the more they stay away from him. You can see Travis Bennett on that bottom left-hand corner of your screen, the head-to-head comparison between Travis Bennett and Eddie Morris. Travis Bennett is running about about 2/10 faster that lap. He was able to make it clearly around Burton and that number 92 car, and's got some clean air now and able to close that gap a little bit. So he's coming for Eddie. I know Eddie's not going to give this up lightly, though. Travis Bennett makes contact with the outside wall coming off of 4. Keeps it in the grass off the surface. No caution thrown here because he's on the infield. Not exactly how Eddie wanted to take away first place or run away with it, but he's going to take it. Travis Burton back out on track. Travis Bennett back up on track behind Adam St. John in that number 52 car. Now it's up to Travis Burton to head up to Eddie Morris. But look who's right behind him. Devin Bucciano has closed that gap to the lead cars here. Now he's going to put the pressure on that bottom line like he's able to do so well and get that run coming off the corner. Not able to clear him yet. Tucks back in line, heading into turn 3. Burton stays on the high side. Same with Devin Bucciano here. It's just got to make his move around. We've got 18 laps to the end of this stage. Devin Bucciano gets a great run off of turn 3 and 4, able to clear him going into turn 1. Eddie Morris first. Devin Bucciano, his teammate, in second place now, heading down or running down Eddie. We've got 17 laps to the end of this stage. Let's take a look at our head-to-head comparison between the two drivers. Last lap, Eddie ran a 32.975. Devin ran a 32.537. Devin definitely has the speed, about 0.4 quicker a lap that last time by. And he's definitely brought that gap down to 2 seconds, making it shorter every lap. Again, like we talked about, Devin really, really good at saving tires. Last lap, 0.2 second difference, 32.7 versus 32.5. Not able to close the gap as much as Devin would have wanted to that time by. Devin with a slower front half or first sector on that last lap. Times are matched, are equal now, 32.6. Devin 1/10 faster on that initial sector on the track. Let's see what he does this time by. A 33.0 to a 32.75. Closing that gap. Let's head back to the number 84 car of Dave Wright, battling with Josh Hall. Josh Hall just kind of maintaining pace. Let's head up to Joe Wright, trying to fend off the moves from the number 17 of Dalton Gibson. Dalton Gibson able to clear, pushes up the track. The traditional slide job through the corner there. Able to take away the 4th position from Joe Wright. Joe Wright looking to fight back here. Could do the inside line. Not able to clear Dalton coming through 3 and 4, though. Is going to have to fall back in line. Dalton taps the wall coming out of 4. He's going to lose some momentum there. Devin Butchino down to less than a second gap to our leader, Eddie Morris. We've got about 10 laps left on this stint here. Dalton Gibson able to make the pass on Joseph Wright. You can see the difference in these two lines between Devin and Eddie here. Devin likes the inside line here, wants to be on that white line. Eddie Morris likes the top line. Down to a 7/10 of a second gap between Devin and Eddie here. And this is just for the stage win, folks. This is not for, obviously, the race win. We still got 10 laps or 9 laps left to go on this one for the stage. Down to a 6/10 lead for Devin here, catching up to Eddie. You can see the entry to the corner is different here. Devin on that bottom line, Eddie on that top. Every time, every corner, Eddie tapping the wall, coming through turn 4 there, loses a lot of speed. Allows Devin to make up a huge gap here. Going into turn 3 and 4, Devin on that bottom line. Not going to be able to clear Eddie. Eddie with a good run off of turn 4. Eddie sticking to that top line. Devin Butchino is going to be coming to the inside line here in turn 1 and 2. Devin close to making the pass, not quite there yet. Devin showing a lot of respect on that inside line there to Eddie, his teammate. Stays really far down the track to make sure that he gives Eddie enough room to get off these corners well. Eddie taps the wall again, but does not lose much speed coming off there. We're catching a lapped car, lap number 52 car of Adam St. John. Let's see where Adam goes. Are we just going to split? What are we doing? Oh, Lord. Eddie has to go kind of out of his comfort zone to get around Adam here. Devin still not able to make that pass on Eddie. They're going to race it out. Both being very respectful to each other, but not giving it up. I expect nothing less from these two drivers. Devin's got the run off of 1 and 2 here. Eddie able to make sure he keeps it solid. Coming into turn 3 and 4 here. This is our battle for our lead currently coming up to the stage. Stage is going to be in 5 laps. Eddie touches the wall again, loses a bunch of momentum, has to dip down behind Devin. Devin secures the top spot coming to our stage here in a couple of laps. Now Devin up against that wall through turn 1 and 2. Devin out to a half a second lead now over Eddie Morris. Let's head back to the number 92 car of Travis Burton. Actually, Carlton Charles looks like it's a little bit better of a race back here between him and Joe Wright. Not a lot of cautions. We're not going to see a lot of cautions today. Adam St. John on pit road currently is down 2 laps from our leaders. Looks like he's off pit road. Head to the number 82 car, Joseph Wright. trying to catch the number 7 car of Carlton Charles before this stage. Devin Bucciano out to a 1 second lead over Eddie Morris now. The car behind Eddie Morris, the number 52 of Adam St. John, is 2 laps down and is not going to be competing here for any spots here. And the safety car is out. That will be the end of our first stage here. Devin Bucciano, the winner of the stage here. They're going to be catching the pace car here. After they catch the pace car, everyone's pit, and they're back about on the surface. We will catch up with Devin Bucciano, our stage winner. Top 10 for the stage: Devin Bucciano, Eddie Morris, Dalton Gibson, Travis Burton, Carlton Charles, Joseph Wright, Dave Wright, Josh Hall, Travis Bennett, and Charles Balance. Travis Bennett did have that incident back on lap 30, looks like. Actually, it might have been earlier than that, where he hit the wall coming off of 4 and then kind of lost it into the inside, or to the grass section on the infield. Made his way back up from 13th up to 9th place. Brad Young does look to be out of the race. We've got 12 drivers left. So after these guys pit, everyone's back out on the racing surface. We're going to pull Devin up here and talk to him for a minute and see what he has to say and how he won this. I'm going to say it's saving tires because that's what he's good at. We had a feeling it was going to come down to a tires and fuel race with the amount of drivers we had on track tonight. I do appreciate everybody hanging out, and I apologize again that we lost internet there for a minute. Had the broadcast got kind of cut short there. Let's see if Eddie's able to make it off of pit road first. Being that first car there, he may have a good chance. Devin's off. Eddie's off. Didn't quite make it. All right, let's pull our leader down. Devin Bucciano. Devin, this is David up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, I got you, brother.
Hey, bud. So you went from, I don't know, starting couple of spots down to winning the stage. How did you do that?
Just patience on the long run. I'd like to venture up top, but I don't know if I trust myself on the exit of 4 for, the entirety of the rest of this race. It's 1 and 2 is not bad up top. It opens up on exit, but turn 4 just kind of jumps out at you, and I don't know if I trust myself to keep the car out of the wall. I saw a couple guys getting into it a bit. So, yeah, I think that's the faster lane. It's just I don't trust myself not destroying the race out of my car.
I understand. We saw Travis Bennett hit the wall coming out of turn 4 when he was in P2 and ended up in the infield. No caution flew from that. I bet he was hoping one did, but it did not come. You were able to just battle there you battled Eddie there for about 5-6 laps, giving plenty of room for each other to race it cleanly, and unfortunately he just made contact with that wall. Gave you that run coming off and down the front stretch.
Yeah, no, me and Eddie always race each other really, really good, really hard, really clean. But we definitely have 2 different preferences, and it's cool to see that get put on show there. It was a good time battling, and I'm sure that's not going to go away here for the rest of this one.
I can't imagine it will. Well, Devin, congratulations on your stage win. We'll put you back up in your room.
All right, thank you, brother.
Yep. That was our stage winner, Devin Bucciano, tonight. Battling with his teammate on Neon Racing's Morris Customs number 8 for Eddie Morris. Battling it out for that first place for the stage. Great showing from the guys here on Neon Racing, though. However, Devin Butchno, Eddie Morris, Joe Wright, and D Wright all top 10 for stage points, which may not matter as much in the grand scheme of things when it comes to the round of 12, but every point does matter. We've got one to green at this time by. Devin has chosen the bottom lane here with Eddie Morris on his outside. You're going to have Dalton Gibson in that number 17 on the inside of row 2. What to his outside is Neon Racing's Joe Wright. Row 3 on the inside, you've got Dave Wright, again, Neon Racing, with Travis Bennett up to 6th place after that round of pit stops. Going to be on the outside of row number 3. Inside row number 3, you've got Carlton Charles in that number 7 car. To his outside, Travis Burton in that number 92 car. Saw some great speed out of him for the first run here. Looking forward to seeing a little bit more here. Behind them, they've got Charles Balance in that number 41 car. Ethan Horst, Josh Hall, and Adam St. John round out the field. That would be 9th through 12th. Our field stacking up here. This pace car is fixing to make that hard left turn off of the racing surface. This restart will be on the leader when they are in the Geico restart zone. We're going to switch to our starter cam here. We've got that green flag in the air. You'll see as soon as these cars hit the Geico restart zone and we're off. Devin Butchno with a great jump off the line here. Eddie Morris to his outside. Plenty of room from everybody here on the backstretch. Lots of racing going on in the first and front half of this field here. We got some bumping going on here. Number 82, number 84, Travis Bennett to the outside in that number 01 car. Travis Bennett trying to make his name known here, heading back towards the front of the field after that incident, putting him back in last place. Travis Bennett looking to the inside of Dalton Gibson. Barely gets there. Dalton finds out late that he's there. Travis Bennett to the inside. Eddie Morris to the outside. That, like Devin said, that outside line is faster. He just doesn't trust himself to run it. Eddie Morris is very comfortable on that high line. Now it's going to come down to a fuel / tire race. Dalton Gibson and Travis Bennett almost make contact coming off of turn number 4 here. Looking to fight or looking to get past Devin Butchno for that second place here. Dalton Gibson up in the wall, riding the wall, loses a lot of momentum through that corner. Travis Bennett's going to be clear for third place, coming up for Devin Butchno next. Number 84, Dave Wright here in the mix now with P4 here. Gets around the number 17 as well. Let's see if he's able to fight him off. Dalton Gibson going to the inside of the number 84 car. Not able to make the pass. 84 keeps the position here. But back here to Joseph Wright, kind of falling down the pack, maybe saving his tires here. Head back up to our leaders here. Eddie Morris still in the lead here with about a half-second lead over Devin Butchno. Travis Bennett right behind Devin for that second place position. Dave Wright is going to be right behind Travis Bennett. Josh Hall, like he said earlier, he's just here to survive tonight. Make it to Talladega next week. He's a very big fan of super speedway racing. Think he's trying to get to the point where maybe he can win that race tomorrow night. We're going to have a lot of guys that show up next week that don't normally show up because they're here for super speedway racing. So we'll see how that goes next week. Should be interesting. Devin still staying to that bottom line. Travis Bennett just kind of following in his footprints right now. See what works best. Devin trying to make sure that he closes any gap that Travis is looking for. Not able to make a run. Dave Wright on that outside line, though. Looking to also get around. Travis Bennett right on Devin Butchnow's bumper coming into turn 1 here. The rest of the field is currently racing kind of single file line here. Josh Hall is a lap down. Not sure what happened there. Doesn't look like anybody's taken a fast repair yet. This just became a race for third place between Travis Bennett and Dave Wright. Remember, Eddie Morris, Devin Butchnow, and Dave Wright all on the same team, Neon Racing. Their fourth driver farther back in the pack, Joe Wright, currently in 8th place. Joe Wright is a little bit off pace. However, that could be saving tires. There could be some other strategies involved there as to why he's fallen back. We'll see as this race goes on. Travis Bennett still following Devin Butchnow. It doesn't look like he's able to make up any ground against him. But I can say Eddie really enjoys Devin having to fight with Travis Bennett. The more that they fight, maybe the faster he can pull away a little bit. We've got 93 laps left in this race. We're looking at the head-to-head in the bottom left-hand corner, watching Travis Bennett. He's about a 10th quicker than Eddie Morris is, our current leader. Slower that lap. Let's take a look at Devin's. About a 1,500th gap between Devin's time and Eddie's time. That last time by was about a 300th gap in Eddie's favor. That gap is getting smaller though. Right now it's at 0.18 seconds on live timing. Joe Wright back up to 7th place. Around Charles Balance. In front of Josh Hall as well. Everyone looking to see what they can do to get around Eddie. Travis Bennett kind of falling off pace here. Ran a 32.2 last time by, while the leaders are running a 32.1. Devin currently putting up the fastest lap times with the 32.109. Eddie not far behind with the 32.162. Looks like Devin and Eddie are going to go back at it for the lead here. It's really sketchy coming off of turn 4 here. We're going to see if we can go to our turn 4 exit cam to see how close it really is. Eddie barely making it off that wall. Contact there by Dave Wright. Dalton Gibson almost makes contact with the wall there. Head back up to our leaders. Travis Bennett has closed that gap now to Devin and Eddie. Devin still running the fastest lap at a 32.304. But the teams are getting close to him. Scratch that. Joe Wright fastest lap with a 32.288. So he did save some tires. He's making his way back through the field currently. Devin to the inside of Eddie Morris for the lead. They've got to be careful with Travis Bennett following closely behind. Eddie Morris barely makes contact with the wall again there, loses some speed. Devin able to secure the first position here. Now Eddie's got Travis Bennett to his inside. Eddie with that run off of turn 2. Travis Bennett able to tuck right back in. Here we go through 3 and 4. Travis just kind of tucks in line behind Eddie through 3 and 4 as well. Not able to get the run off the corner here like he wants. Travis also wants to run that high line, but there's only room for one car up there. Travis with a great run off of turn 2 here. Let's see if he's able to make this slide job stick here. Not. Looks like he was able to make that work here. So Travis Bennett up to P2. But that battling with Eddie has let Devin run away with an 0.8 of a second lead currently over Travis Bennett. Eddie Morris down to 3rd place. Let's head back to Joe Wright, who's catching up to his brother, Dave Wright. Running about 0.3 quicker per lap over his brother. Looks like Travis Burton up in the wall off of 2 here. Joe Wright to the inside, the number 84 car. Not quite clear coming off the corner. Dave Wright's got the run off the corner. These brothers are going to battle it out down the front stretch going into turn 1 here. Dave Wright to the outside wall, barely makes contact. Doesn't look like he loses any speed coming off the corner though. Gets the run coming off of turn 1 and 2. Joe Wright's got to reset and do it again. with how competitive these two drivers are, they're going to do this for a while. Until one of them makes a mistake. Looks like Joe Wright's clear of the front bumper of Dave Wright this time by in turn 1 and 2. Slides up the track, takes away that position. Joe Wright up to P6. Dave Wright to Joe Wright's bumper, though. Coming into turn 1 and 2. Dave Wright goes into turn 1 hot. Hits the corner, hits the wall, outside wall in turn 1 and 2. Gets the run. Tucks in behind his brother, Joe Wright. Joe Wright back up to 6th place, coming for the number 92 of Travis Burton now. His lap times are very similar to the driver in front of him. Last time by ran a 32.657. Travis ran a 32.865. So he's going to start closing that gap pretty quick here. Eddie Morris to the bumper of Travis Bennett. Makes contact with the wall coming off of turn 4, unfortunately. Got to reset, try it again. Looks like he pushed coming off of turn 4. Eddie Morris resetting and trying again. Eddie Morris is running about a 1/10 of a second quicker than Travis Bennett is per lap here, but Travis Bennett's not going to leave that wall. That's where Eddie likes to run. Eddie is a fluid driver, though. He can run that bottom line. He just prefers to run on the wall. He's going to close this gap to Travis, and then he'll make his move to figure out where he's going to go. That time by, Travis ran about a 2/10 of a second quicker than Eddie Morris did. We're going to go back and forth here. Joe Wright has caught up to Travis Burton now. Has cut that gap down to 3/10 of a second. Travis Burton makes contact with the outside wall, loses a lot of momentum. Joe Wright up to the outside going into turn number 1 here. He's got the preferred line. Let's see if he's able to make this work. Joe Wright around the number 92 of Travis Burton for 5th place. Travis Burton falls in line. Joe's not going to give up that top line. That is the preferred line. He goes to the inside, actually. Travis Burton not able to take advantage of it, doesn't have the speed to get there. Joe Wright secures the 5th place after falling back down to about 10th place right after that stage. Joe Wright now going for Dalton Gibson, and currently about a second gap between Dalton Gibson and Joe Wright. Our leader, Devin Butchino, has checked out to a 4-second lead over second place driver Travis Bennett. Eddie Morris is about 0.4 of a second back as well. Looks like he's closing that gap just a little bit here. Devin Butchno currently running the fastest lap times at a 32.543 last time by. Devin Butchno to pit road. Gonna start the pit cycle. 70 laps remain in this race. I don't think you can make it all 70 laps. It might be a two-stopper. Number 41, Charles Balance, also heading down pit road. See Devin Butchno pulling in right now. Right side tires on. You see Charles Balance coming down pit road now. 01 of Travis Bennett heading down pit road. 52 of Adam St. John on pit road. Eddie Morris back in the lead. Devin Butchno off pit road here. Charles Balance will be next. Got another car. Number 01, Travis Bennett. Number 7 of Carlton Charles also on pit road. Eddie Morris currently in the lead with Dalton Gibson behind him. The longer these guys stay out, though, the bigger of a gap, or the further out that especially Devin Butchno is going to be able to make this race. Number 92 coming down pit road. That's Travis Burton. Travis Bennett back out on track. Let's head back up to our current leader, Eddie Morris. Let's see what he does. Still running that high line, so he's not looking to pit anytime soon. But the longer these guys stay out, the bigger of a gap Devin's going to be able to pull ahead. Devin currently running a 31.959. Eddie's running a 33.090. So it's a 1.2 second gap over what Eddie is running and Devin is running. So every lap that Eddie stays out, Devin's going to come out with a 1.2 second lead or gap addition to what he had before he came on pit road. No other drivers have pit yet. Current drivers to stay out: Eddie Morris, Dalton Gibson, and Joe Wright. And Josh Hall in 6th place. Now, it is possible also that Eddie is trying to play the fuel mileage game and make this a one-stop race. I'm not sure if Devin has enough fuel to make it to the end of this race. But like I said, fuel and tire strategy are going to come into play here. Eddie kind of taking it easy. Adam St. John around on the inside. Eddie currently with... He has more than 51 laps left. I know that much, but my game freaked out, or my internet freaked out and took a crap at the beginning of this stage, or the beginning of this race. 82, Joe Wright on pit road. Joe Wright on 44 lap old tires in that stint. Eddie Morris still staying out. So it's Eddie Morris. Dalton Gibson and Josh Hall still all left to pit. Devin Butchno is right at Eddie's rear bumper. Going to pass him to get his lap back naturally. Devin able to get his lap back here. He's got to make it all the way back around the track. He's still in second place currently. Travis Bennett currently 3 seconds behind Devin Bucciano. Eddie's still out on track. 47 laps old these tires are. Josh Hall also still on track. Those are the last two drivers to pit in this pit stop, or in this pit stop round. Looks like Eddie's going to be taking his pit stop now. Gets onto pit road safely. Devin Bucciano, as soon as he comes back around, will be your leader. Eddie's got to go all the way down pit lane here. He's the first stall here. This is going to put Eddie probably out in third or fourth place behind his teammate Dave Wright. Eddie Morris is off. There goes his teammate Joe Wright for fifth place. And Dalton Gibson. Eddie Morris comes back on track in sixth place with Carlton Charles coming down the track, or coming down to hunt him down quick. Now Eddie Morris is going to have the freshest tires out there. However, he's 15 seconds behind the leader now. His tires are also 11 laps newer. So let's see how this plays out for Eddie Morris. This may be a late game green flag stop for him. That may end up serving well for him. Let's see what happens. Last time by, Devin ran a 31.694. Eddie Morris a 31.475, and that was on his his warm-up lap. Let's see what he runs this time by. We'll be able to see in our head-to-head here in the bottom left-hand corner what Eddie runs. Eddie with the 31.856 to the leader's 31.920. Devin Bucciano just ran a 32.048. Eddie with a 31.746, so about 0.3 quicker than our leader. Let's head up here to Dalton Gibson, battling it out with Joseph Wright. Dalton Gibson chooses the high line here. That is the faster line. Joe comes up the track. Dalton's already there. Not able to close that gap, but Dalton's got the run coming off of turn 4. Into turn 1, Dalton Gibson has that cleared. Let's see if Joe Wright's able to put on a fight here. Doesn't look like it. Dalton Gibson around Joseph Wright for fourth place. Dalton Gibson and Joe Wright both have about the same lap old tires. Joe Wright to the inside in turn 3 and 4, not able to make it stick. Comes back up the track behind Dalton. We've got some blinking going on here. Man, every time that happens, I get some PTSD from earlier in this race when my internet turned off. Eddie Morris running the fastest laps of the race right now with a 31.779. Track temp seems to have cooled off a little bit, down to 108 degrees. Still pretty warm out there. Got 52 laps left in this race when Devin crosses the line this time by. Joseph Wright looking to the outside of Dalton Gibson, but look who's right behind him, Eddie Morris. Has closed that gap. His tires are only 7 laps old. They're 3 to 4 laps newer than Joseph Wright and Dalton Gibson. Not that that makes a huge difference, but is making a big enough difference to get them there. Eddie Morris is going to have to be patient to see how he's going to be able to get around, one, his teammate in that 82 car, and also Dalton Gibson, who's been defending really well. Eddie Morris looking to go to the outside here. To the outside of his teammate in that 82 car. Able to make that stick. Joseph Wright gives plenty of room to his teammate. Eddie's next goal is the number 17. Eddie is able to secure the 5th position from Joe Wright. Now this could work on Joe's behalf as well. If Eddie's able to get Dalton to run that bottom line, we've got the 84 car, Dave Wright. Not sure what happened here, but this is going to throw a mixture into everything here. Dave Wright stays to the outside line. He's currently running in 5th place. Dave Wright on 14-lap-old tires. No, 24-lap-old tires. He was one of the first to pit. Dalton Gibson still running that high side, but he's up in the wall. Eddie comes down, gets the run off of turn 4, back up the track, but Dalton's there. Able to clear Dalton Gibson coming into turn number 1 here. Joseph Wright looking to the inside of Dalton Gibson again. Your current leader, Devin Bucciano. Sounds like Dalton Gibson's up in the wall again. Joe Wright able to make that pass on Dalton Gibson. He secures the 4th position. Team Neon currently 1, 3, 4, and 6. Travis Bennett and Dalton Gibson are the only 2 drivers that are not Team Neon in the top 5. Check in with our leader, who's coming through some lap traffic again, and that number 41 car of Charles Balance. Able to make that pass cleanly on Charles Balance. That puts Charles Balance 1 lap down. Eddie Morris up to 3rd place, followed by his teammate Joseph Wright in 4th place, followed by the number 17 of Dalton Gibson in 5th place. Travis Bennett still running in 2nd place currently with a 5.8 second gap between himself and Devin Bucciano. He's running about 2/10 of a second slower than Devin Bucciano. Eddie Morris with a 32.299, about 0.3 faster, 0.2 faster than our leader. Let's take a look at our head-to-head in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. This is going to be comparing Eddie Morris's lap time to Devin Butchno. Eddie Morris across the line, 0.2 of a second quicker than our leader. Let's check in with our leader, Devin Butchno, in the number 68 car. About 6 seconds quicker than Travis Bennett at this point. For a 6-second gap. Travis Bennett ran a 32.833 last time by to Devin's 32.454. Eddie Morris and Joseph Wright are matching the leader's pace, along with Dave Wright as well. All of Team Neon is running basically the same lap times. Eddie Morris just ticking away at that gap between himself and Travis Bennett. He's running about a half a second faster per lap and currently about 3.3 seconds behind second place. His teammate Joseph Wright has fallen down to about 1.5 second gap between himself and Eddie Morris. Checking with Dave Wright and Carlton Charles. Dave Wright to his inside. Not able to make the pass. Carlton Charles gets the run off of turn 2. Devin Butchno back on pit lane. Same thing with the 01 car of Travis Bennett. The fuel run must be about 40 laps because those two drivers will be able to make it if it goes green the rest of this race. This puts Eddie Morris back in the lead. However, his teammate Devin Butchno, who just came off pit road, is right behind him. 82's down to pit lane. There's no way that Eddie was able to save 20 laps. He's got to go soon. There's his teammate, Devin Butchno. We've got half the field who has taken a pit stop and the other half who has not currently. Eddie Morris is on the shortest stint at 25 laps. Maybe he comes in for a splash and go. Last pit stop. Devin Butchno, 14.8 seconds, so was able to get full fuel and all 4 tires. Carlton Charles on pit road currently, 10.7 seconds, so he only took either 2 tires and fuel. He may have just taken 2 tires and fuel. I'm sorry, that was Dalton Gibson. That shaves off 4 seconds right there. Currently watching our leader, Eddie Morris. Eddie Morris, Dave Wright, Travis Burton, and Josh Hall still have yet to pit for this round. Eddie Morris, Dave Wright. Eddie Morris, his tires are currently 29 laps old. Dave Wright's will be 43 laps old. Travis Burton's will be 37 laps old. Same thing with Josh Hall, will also be 28 laps old on this set of tires. You've got the number 15 coming up on Eddie Morris, but he is a lap down right now. Ethan Horst. I'm sorry, he's 2 laps down, looking to get one of his laps back here. Very different strategies, even from teammates here. Travis Bennett looking to also get his lap back. He's next on that list of people to fight Eddie for it. I don't know how much of a fight it will be, but he's there next to get it. Travis Bennett to the inside, gets his lap back on Eddie Morris. We've got less than 30 laps to go in this race. Eddie Morris is going to have to pit at some point. Let's see what he does for his pit stop. If he only takes 2 tires and fuel, or what he does here. Head to the 01 car, who's looking to get past the number 15 car of Ethan Horst. Currently, Devin Butchno is running about a second faster per lap than our leader, Eddie Morris. He's running in 4th place currently. The 92 of Travis Burton and Dave Wright both down pit road this time by. Eddie Morris, still our leader, still out on track. Over a second per lap quicker as Devin Butchno, as we're watching right now. Dave Wright and Travis Burton, both 14-second pit stops. So 4 tires all the way around, as much fuel as they can get. Eddie Morris still out on track. Looks like Eddie may have gone the opposite way here. Where the other drivers pit at 40, Eddie may be trying to make it 40 and run the last 20 with a new set of tires. We'll see what this strategy leads to, because his tires are going to be 20 laps newer than Devin Butchno by the time he pits, if that does happen. '84 back down on pit road of Dave Wright. Looks like Dave had a stop and go penalty. He's back out on track currently. Let's head to our leader, Devin or Eddie Morris, driving around a couple cars here. In front of him, Dalton Gibson and Joe Wright battling it out for 4th place. Dalton Gibson up to the wall, Joe Wright hanging on the bottom line here. Not able to clear. Joe holds Dalton Gibson to that tie line, going middle through the tri-oval here on that front stretch. Not letting him get any advantage over this. Not able to clear him coming through turn 1 and 2. They're going to get close coming down the back stretch. Dalton Gibson into the wall, coming off of 4, loses some speed off of that. Joe Wright goes as low as he can, able to clear Dalton Gibson. Barely cuts the nose there. Dalton Gibson looking to get back to the outside line. Joe Wright able to make that pass clear, able to make it stick. Joe Wright up to 4th place over Dalton Gibson. And an exciting pass there. Dalton Gibson not giving up though. Dalton Gibson still running that outside line, which we've seen is faster all night long. But it's not faster when you hit that wall coming off of turn 4. That's never a good thing. Joe Wright able to swing it back up the track, but Dalton Gibson does have the run coming off of turn 4. Closes that gap by almost 1/10 of a second just by running that high line here. Joe Wright trying to mix it up a little bit here. Eddie Morris is on pit road. He's going to come out in about 5th place. Eddie Morris is back out on track. Eddie Morris comes out in 5th place ahead of the number 68 car of Devin Butchno. Not able. It's going to be close here. Looks like he's going to gain his speed here. He is back out on track. Did not go a lap down there. Is in front of Josh Hall, but is a 27-second gap between him and the leader. He's only got 20 laps or 18 laps to make this gap up. Now, if there were to be a caution right now, Eddie would be in a perfect situation where his laps or his tires are only a lap old. Everyone else would probably pit. The only person that might not is Dave Wright, and his tires are only 6 laps old. But the likelihood of that happening right now is kind of slim. Everyone's kind of got a gap between the driver and themselves in front. Josh Hall currently on pit road as well. Head up to our leader, Devin Butchino. Tires are currently 23 laps old. Dalton Gibson still putting a fight on to Joe Wright by running that outside line. You see Joe Wright going around the number 81 car right now of Josh Hall, who just came off of pit road. I can't imagine he's going to get around him very easily here. Josh Hall is probably going to pull away here. Dalton Gibson about 0.3 of a second back, 0.4 of a second back right now on Joseph Wright. Joe Wright's got that line figured out to the best of his ability. Travis Bennett, currently our second place driver, is about 8 seconds behind our leader, with Joe Wright 13 seconds behind our leader and 5 seconds behind Travis Bennett. Eddie Morris has cut it from a 29-second lap, or a 29-second gap, down to 24.5 seconds. I don't know how much time he has to make up as many positions as he can. If anything, he needs to get to the number 17 car or the number 82 car. 82 car is his teammate, but we've only got 13 laps left to go. It also is official. Eddie Morris will have the most laps led for the race. So that's more bonus points for him. That was Dalton Gibson flying past us on the wall. That's now Joe's got a 1 second lead over Dalton Gibson because of that contact with the wall. Eddie Morris has cut that lead from 10 seconds to Dalton Gibson down to 8 seconds. We are currently watching Joe Wright here, who's in our third place driver. Dalton Gibson is the closest to him at 1 second. Here's our leader currently. 9 laps left to go, 10 laps left to go, with a 9-second lead over our second place driver, Travis Bennett. We are currently watching our second place driver, Travis Bennett. Not able to close that gap at all to Devin Butchino in front of him. Eddie Morris, who took that late pit stops, only got 8 laps left to go. He has closed the gap from a 10-second gap to 5 seconds to Dalton Gibson for that extra point in the playoff battle as we go into Talladega. Does he have enough time to get to Dalton Gibson? That is a curious thing. He is running about a half a second faster per lap, as you see in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, over our leader, Devin Butchino. but he's definitely not going to have enough time to get back to them. He has cut that from a 29-second lead down to a 20-second lead, but it has taken a little bit longer to do so. However, he may have enough time to get to Dalton Gibson and get around him, who is maintaining a 1.2-second gap between himself and Joe Wright ahead of him. Eddie Morris is running about a second quicker per lap than Dalton Gibson. If that's the way it's going to remain, Eddie Morris is going to be able to get around or at least catch Dalton Gibson for an opportunity for 4th place. Let's see what happens with Eddie Morris and Dalton Gibson here. This is going to be the closest battle we have finishing out this race. You can see his teammate right in front of him for Eddie Morris of that 84 car, Dave Wright. Maybe you can get some drafting help off of him. Last time by, Dalton Gibson ran a 33.196 with an Eddie with a 31.940. So 1.2 seconds faster per lap here. Dalton Gibson falling off of Joseph Wright. Now down to a 1.9 second lead or gap between 3rd and 4th place. Eddie Morris is catching Dalton Gibson pretty quick here. We've got 5 laps left to go. Let's see if he's able to get to him before the end of this race. 33.0 to a 32.1. He should be able to get him here in the next 2 laps. Eddie able to make a fantastic run off of turn 4 here. Continues to push that lead down as far as he can. 33.1 to a 32.1. That's a whole second per lap right now. We've got 4 laps to go. 3 laps to go now with Devin Butchino just crossing the line here. Eddie Morris has closed that gap to a half a second lead between himself and Dalton Gibson. The tire difference is massive between these two drivers, a 20-second or 20-lap difference in tires. You see Eddie going to the bottom line here. Dalton Gibson makes the mistake, goes up to the wall and literally touches it. Eddie Morris around the number 17 car of Dalton Gibson for 4th place. Now a 2.7 second difference between himself and Joseph Wright. We've only got 2 laps left to go, and it's less than a second per lap difference between these two drivers. Don't think Eddie will have enough time to get there. Let's go to our leader, Devin Butchino, who's going to be getting the white flag this time by. And let's go on board for the final lap of this race. You can hear how long Devin waits to get back on throttle. Feathering it while getting back on, avoids the wall coming off of turn 4. And there's our winner, Devin Butchino, with Travis Bennett coming up right behind him. With our 3rd place victor going to be Joseph Wright. Followed up by Eddie Morris, Dalton Gibson, and Travis Burnett's going to be in 6th. Ethan Hort's going to be finishing 7th place, Charles Balance 8th, Josh Hall 9th, Carlton Charles 10th, Dave Wright 11th, and Adam St. John in 12th place. Drivers out for the race. Brad Young in 13th place, left the race after lap 27. Not sure what happened there. And Sharn Hill, who never made it to the grid. And that's our finishing order, folks. We're going to wait till these drivers head down to pit road here. While our drivers head down to the waiting room, we'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for holding here. Let's get our third place driver up here. Just a second, hang on. Let's get our third place driver down here, Joseph Wright. Joseph, this is David up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, D. How you?
Hey, bud. So started the race in third, finished the race in third. No cautions except for the stage. Tell us how you handled this race.
Well, I had a terrible first stage. One of the 78 or the 79 bouncing off the wall got me. And then yeah, we just rebounded, took care of the tires in that long stint after the stage, and then split the last two right in half. And it worked out for us. Got us a P3. I knew Devin and Travis were going to be fast, and likely nobody was going to touch them. So yeah, just glad to be here.
Coming home with the thirds, definitely nothing to shake a stick at, especially 8. Talladega next week. We know there's going to be drivers that we haven't seen in 6 months come back. What's the? I know Talladega and Daytona, you can't really have a plan for it, but what is there a plan?
As long as you're here broadcasting, I'll be doing okay. You know, you left and my season kind of turned to crap. You came back and now we're good. So
well,
yeah,
you know whose destiny that's in the hands of.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. All right, Joe. Congratulations on your third, starting off the round of 12 in a decent position. I know Talladega's coming up next. That's anybody's game, so we'll see what happens. But congratulations again on third. Anybody you want to thank out there before I get you off here?
Yeah, shout out to everybody at SCSRA that keeps showing up every week. You guys are the real drivers. All these other guys are just fake. Dev Sports Cards for sponsoring the series. Shout out to you in the booth, Dave. Thanks for doing this. I know it's not the most welcoming task in the world, but you know, thank you again. I like to go back and watch them, so good job there. Shout out to Team Neon with a 1, 3, 4, 11. Pretty decent stats, I'd say. 1, 3, 4. So yeah.
Awesome. Again, congratulations, Joe. We'll see you next week.
Later, man.
That was our third place driver, Joe Wright. Let's get our second place driver, Travis Bennett, down here. Travis, this is David up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, David. I'll tell you what, it's really good to hear you.
Hey, man, it's been a couple of weeks. I get it. I apologize. We had, I went away on work. Unfortunately, I can't broadcast while out of town. I tried, didn't work. But here we are.
Hey, it's okay. We're here now.
Yes, sir. So starting off 7th, you kind of hit the wall coming up to the stage. What was it, lap 20-ish, somewhere around there? Put you back down to the bottom of the field, but came back and fought back for a second place tonight. How'd you take care of those tires tonight and get back up to second?
Well, it was really just a little bit of discipline. I knew what Butch Noe was doing to save tires, and I just didn't want to do it the first part of the race. I knew that was the reason why I hit the walls, because I kept wearing out my tires faster than normal. So I guess that second run, I just kind of just tried to match his line the best I could. But man, he was lights out. There's no way I could have done the same thing he was doing.
That seems to be the running theory at these tracks when it comes to saving tires is Devin somehow can do it every week and no one ever knows why or how.
Yeah, well, think about it this way: you ain't got to worry about saving tires at Talladega. So
No, sir, you don't. I was actually going to bring that up next. Talladega's next week in the round of 12 to finish out the round of 12. What going into that, coming with the second, you really just have to finish the race. We're going to see a lot of drivers come back next week that we haven't seen for a month or two, just because they like super speedway racing. This league typically does put on some pretty good super speedway racing. Do you have any plans for next week at all to make it, or is it just make it to the last lap and see what happens?
I want to review the points and see what my position is. I'm pretty sure I'm okay to just not worry about it and just try to win it, rather than trying to play it safe. But you never know, man. You know how it is at these Talladega or Daytona races. You try to go in with a plan, and by lap 1, it's out the window.
Yeah, usually when you come off the grid, it's completely out the window.
Absolutely.
All right.
Looking ahead, Bristol's going to be tough for sure. That's going to be something to be looking forward to.
I'm also looking forward to that race. It's probably going to be one of my favorite broadcasts for sure.
Oh man, I thought Kansas was your favorite broadcast. Come on now, you didn't fall asleep, did you?
No, I didn't fall asleep. I was watching the time. I only stare at the timing screen. I don't even watch the race. I just look for the best battles on the track, and there were a couple of good ones this race. But and a lot of clean racing, which was very good to see.
Absolutely.
All right, Travis, before I get you out of here, congratulations again on second place. Anybody you want to thank out there?
First thing, definitely thank you for broadcasting, man. We definitely missed you. It's definitely a good thing to watch the next day. Try to see what action you missed out on. And just thank for everybody putting this on and everybody for running clean, Looking forward to next week.
Absolutely, Travis. Well, good luck next week. Again, congratulations on your second place, and hopefully we'll talk to you next week.
All right, thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem. Next, let's get our winner down here, Devin Butchno, the number 68 New Craft Eddie Morris Customs, lots of sponsors car. Devin, you got me?
Gotcha, brother.
Congratulations again on your victory. Starting off in 4th place, running down Eddie for the stage win, and then coming home in 1st place. This was kind of maybe not foreseen to happen, but when it comes to saving tires, there's no one else better than you. How were you able to do it?
Yeah, just the long runs, man. This race last season ended up being a photo finish with Sharn because we got a caution with like 5 laps to go. And it's just tough the way that I race at pretty much every track we go to just commit to the long run. And unfortunately, with this field size, you're safer, I think, to race for the long runs. But yeah, just patience, man. I knew Travis. We were just talking about it. He'd figured out what I was doing about halfway through the race, and I was like, oh, if anyone can pick up on something and beat you with it, it's going to be Travis. We know how much speed he's shown this season. But yeah, just patience, man. Just committed to the long run. If we would have gotten a caution in the last 10 laps, I think we would have had no choice but to move it to the high side. And didn't really practice up there a ton, so it definitely would have been a bit of a crapshoot.
Absolutely. Well, so take away a win on this one, so you no longer have to worry about next week, which I know you love.
Thank
Super
God.
Speedway racing.
Thank God. Dude.
Any plan for next week at all to help your teammates get up there?
Just teammates. I'm excited to see the points here. See where Joe and D landed, but it's full commitment on the teammates to make sure they get into the round of 8. I know that we're pretty strong here. Well, they are. I just kind of tag along and follow them wherever they go. But yeah, if there's any race you want to be locked into and have no worries, it is Talladega. So if you need to look for me next week, I will be glued to the back of the 8 or the 82 or the 84.
Sounds like a play, Devin. We'll look for you there. Congratulations again on your victory tonight. It was a fantastic run. Travis was able to maintain pace with you that last 50 laps or so. It's fun to watch, but you had the lead from the jump on after that stage. So very well played on your part. Anybody you want to thank out there?
Yeah, I want to thank you for broadcasting. I know it's been a while, but we definitely appreciate you coming out here and broadcasting. I want to just shout out my girlfriend Kaylee, just super supportive of what we do out here, and letting me do this. And just want to shout out Dev Sports Cards, Morse Customs, Level Up Subs, New Craft Fine Jewelry and Design, Blue Team Alpha for the truck sponsor. I want to thank Justin Bell for sponsoring the weekend here at Kansas. So that's really appreciative of him. All of our league sponsors. We've had so many partners this season, and we just gotta hopefully try and finish this strong and keep it up and do it again next week in Dega.
Absolutely. Well, Devin, it was a pleasure speaking with you tonight. Hopefully we'll talk to you next week. If not, hopefully we're talking to someone in Neon up here.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a good night, sir.
Take care.
And that was our winner, Devin Butchino, tonight. We want to thank everybody that stopped by tonight and hung out with us for this race. I know there wasn't a whole lot going on, and that's simply because there was a smaller field, unfortunately. But that does happen at races towards the end of the season, unfortunately. So we will see probably a larger field next week. I look forward to being here for those races at Talladega. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week.